Here's the 30-second lesson on what legends know. Never practice nunchucks in a crowded room. Never eat chole before a road trip. Always take your shirt off before you iron it. Don't take a call near a swimming pool. And don't forget, saving is not investing. Legends don't just save, they invest in mutual funds. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The winter, as you can see, is finally here with us in New Delhi and also in North India after a particularly warm November. However, while we might have woken up to the coldest December morning in a very long time at 4.5 degrees in New Delhi, the political temperature is again hotting up, and that's because Parliament is on. Now, Parliament's on. See what's being discussed right now in Parliament. This is 2 days of discussion on the Constitution because it is now the 75th year of the Constitution. Now, this gives a good opportunity for the two sides, the two main contestants in our politics to seek the measure of each other. That is the BJP and now NDA and the Congress and the India Bloc or whatever state it's in right now. Now, this is also a time where we can take a deep breath, lean back a little bit while we watch this excitement and also assess what has happened to the fortunes of the two contestants over these 6 months. Because remember, today it's almost exactly 6 months since the results of the Lok Sabha elections were declared. Just over 6 months, maybe another 10 days over 6 months. Because this parliament session has come almost exactly 6 months after this was constituted, after last summer's elections. So we have to look at the politics, how it has progressed since then. What are the elements that reduced BJP from its expectation of 400 par to just 240 or 400 par maybe with coalition, so 350 of its own to just 240. What made BJP stop short of a majority, which was a disaster for the BJP and for many of its plans? What is it that has happened to the fortunes of BJP's challengers since then? The Congress party got nearly 100 seats, 99, plus one MP elected as an independent, also announcing his allegiance to the Congress party. So much has changed in the last 6 months, and that is what we are reviewing right now. This is a good moment to do that. Biggest negative for the BJP in the last election was the fear of 400 par. What happens if the BJP gets 400 plus? Because too many people close to the BJP had started talking about changes in the constitution, or maybe some had even spoken about a new constitution, of reimagining a constitution because this wasn't modern enough. Now, these were not top leaders, but these were people seen to be close enough to the BJP. Don't forget that even the BJP candidate at Faizabad, Ayodhya, had also talked about this and said, only if you give us 400, we'll be able to change the constitution. And we know what happened in that constituency. That's what created the legend of Avdesh Prasad, who you sitting next to Akhilesh Yadav whenever he speaks in Parliament in this session. You also saw him today while Akhilesh Yadav spoke on the constitution. So that was one big issue. What has the BJP done now? With this debate now, you will see Rajnath Singh has opened the debate, Prime Minister is speaking, everybody is speaking, and they will all swear allegiance by the Constitution and say they have no intention to mess with it. Even as this Lok Sabha was convened, the Prime Minister entered the Lok Sabha by bowing his head to the Constitution. This was an acknowledgement by the BJP that they had earned great time by letting this insecurity be created. And they've been trying to fix this insecurity. Again, what's the situation now? We've seen Rahul Gandhi carrying a small copy of the Constitution, but BJP is now ridiculing it. Rajnath Singh said, for example, some people carry the Constitution in their pockets. So the BJP itself is positioning itself as a defender of the Constitution, saying that nobody molested the Constitution as much as the Congress did. To some extent, that balance has been restored now. Or let us just say that BJP has defanged that issue to an extent because there is no Lok Sabha election on right now. There is no threat to the Constitution. So that issue gone, it gives the BJP relief. And we saw this change. We saw this change in the elections of Haryana, Maharashtra, I'm not saying Jharkhand because the BJP lost it. Jharkhand has different reasons why BJP could not successfully challenge Hemant Soren and his Congress and RJD partners this time. Constitution was not the issue. In Maharashtra, where it had become a big issue and BJP suffered a big setback, now it did not matter. BJP swept Maharashtra, not just the BJP-led alliance, Mahayuti, but BJP itself swept Maharashtra, almost with a 90% success rate. We can safely say, given the results in Maharashtra assembly elections and also UP by-elections, that by now the popular fear or popular apprehension that the constitution would be damaged has now faded away. That's a positive for the BJP, so they can start life afresh. Number two, the BJP suffered in Lok Sabha elections because there were no fresh top-up to the freebies. In fact, the Prime Minister started the campaign by attacking the freebies or welfareism by his opposition as distribution of reveries. As the campaign went on, he was talking less and less of reveries. Now, the problem with the BJP in Lok Sabha elections was that having taken a position against freebies, they couldn't start many new ones, while they had announced some new ones already before Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh elections, including the extension of the free food grain distribution program. And also, say, in Madhya Pradesh, giveaways to women. So all those things had been done earlier. Nothing new was left now. The change you see in the last 6 months is that BJP is now gone full on freebie. Now the BJP is running the biggest and I would say the most popular free reverie distribution shop in the country, and you can see it everywhere. In Haryana, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, all of these, BJP offered money for women, doles for women, 2,000 rupees usually, as they've said now in Delhi as well. And in each case, the opposition has tried to better it by adding 100 more rupees. So I call it India's W2K politics, which was started initially by the Congress party, say in Karnataka, Telangana, then the BJP picked it up in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Now it's gone to another level because in Haryana, the Congress promised 2,000, BJP took it to 2,100. In Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party has announced 2,100. So let us see how the BJP responds to this. In Maharashtra, BJP started giving 1,500. Then they said they will take it to 2,000. Congress said they will take it to 2,100. What happens in these cases is this works more favorably for the BJP, particularly when it's already in the government, as say was the case in Haryana and Maharashtra, because with that and the fact that they are in power in Delhi, their promises of these freebies look more convincing to the voter than the opposition parties' promises. But once again, this shows how the BJP's politics has shifted in these 6 months. In Haryana, they also promised MSP purchase for 24 crops and government jobs and guaranteed government jobs for Agniveers. You might also notice that in the course of time, the opposition has stopped talking about the Agniveer issue. It's almost as if the constitution issue, the Agniveer issue have now run out of steam, because in politics you have to keep inventing new ideas all the time. You cannot carry on with the same ideas, and I suspect also that is also going to be the fate of the caste census, because Rajnath Singh again said that we can hold a caste census, we have no problem, but you must come up with clear ideas on what you will give to each caste. And he says, लोगों की आंखों में धूल मत झोंकिए, don't throw dirt in people's eyes, लोगों की आंखों में आंखें डाल के देखिए, look people in the eye. So exactly what Rajnath Singh said was that you first of all look your voters in the eye, look people in the eye and say what is the reservation you are offering to each caste or each section. Then we are willing to debate this in parliament and move forward. So the BJP has joined that argument. And in politics, once an issue becomes an argument, in the sense that both agree on the issue, even when your rival says, I don't disagree with you, but let's argue about what will the benefit and let's argue about what will be the benefit and how will this be done and who will this benefit. Once it becomes an argument like that, it loses its energy and oomph as an electoral issue. So once again, the BJP has been able to normalize on that. The conclusion with each one of these points is that the opposition now has to find new ideas. Similarly, the BJP itself has given up some of its ideas or has moderated some of its ideas in these 6 months. I will detail these for you also. So first of all, there was a sense before Lok Sabha elections, leading up to Lok Sabha elections, that the BJP did not need the RSS, that RSS can come and help and will come and help, but it did not depend on the RSS. Lok Sabha elections shattered that. So I said, the constitution, the fear that the constitution will be messed with, that became a major factor. The fact that the BJP was not able to top up its giveaways or freebies, that became second major factor. But also the RSS not going out wholeheartedly to work for the BJP also became a factor. And the RSS made no secret of the fact that they were annoyed or that they were not so interested anymore. And the BJP suffered. However, after the Lok Sabha setback, the RSS has come back in full force. They were there in Haryana, they were there in Maharashtra, and in each case, everybody acknowledges, including BJP's rivals, that the big difference was made by the RSS on the ground, because on the ground, nobody has a force as large and as committed as that of the RSS. So, the correction that's been made at the BJP's end is, or the difference that has been made to Narendra Modi, Amit Shah and their control of the party and politics since the Lok Sabha election, says that now RSS becomes a very prominent player. RSS is now the new bull in the ring of national politics. RSS now also has a say on key appointments. In Maharashtra, for example, while it took some time, it was evident that the High Command would have preferred a choice other than Devendra Fadnavis. But RSS wanted Devendra Fadnavis. That has happened. Similarly, the indecision and delay over the appointment of a new BJP president, Adhyaksh, that also is because the RSS has its own preferences, the party High Command has their own preferences, and the preferences of the two are not aligning. The moment they align, somebody will be appointed. But the very fact that it's taken 6 months and they are still continuing with this indecision tells you that the RSS is now a factor. Unlike, say, the appointments of chief ministers in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, or even Odisha in the past, the party itself can no longer do things all by itself or unilaterally without the RSS agreeing with major decisions at least. That's a big change, and you can say it also in how the politics is playing out. Arun Kumar, Joint General Secretary of the RSS, he's playing a key role. He played a key role in Haryana as well, as he did also in UP by-elections. So that is a major change that's taken place on the BJP side. That is the moderating of the control of the High Command and the re-entry of the RSS. That's a very significant development. Next point. In these 6 months, we have seen that the phenomenon of the BJP relying less on Narendra Modi is now gathering momentum. In Haryana elections, I will share with you once again the link to my writings on the wall that showed that Prime Minister Modi's picture was used nowhere as the prominent picture. Modi ki guarantee had gone away from the BJP campaign. The campaign was no longer made about Modi. And the same thing also was done in Maharashtra as well. Both those elections were won by the BJP handsomely. If you were speaking on behalf of the BJP, you could say, oh, now we can win these elections without Mr. Modi. But there is one reality underlying that, which is that now the RSS is out fighting for the BJP. The second thing is that there is an intention to de-risk the Prime Minister's name and his electoral cachet value. In Jharkhand, for example, maybe as a trial balloon to revive the Modi magic, they did use the Prime Minister's name to get votes, and that did not work out. So now, as a conscious political decision, it seems, or a conscious political strategy, BJP is relying less on Prime Minister Modi. Next point, next big change. In Lok Sabha elections, BJP went on its own. The BJP was pretty much sure that they were going to win a majority by themselves in Lok Sabha elections. However, they did have some alliance partners. They had JDU in Bihar, they had TDP in Andhra Pradesh, but besides these, they were smaller partners. At the same time, they were not willing to give as much space for them in the larger scheme of things, as they might be willing to do now that the real NDA is back. However, BJP fell short. New allies joined in the new NDA government, and immediately from the first victory meeting that the Prime Minister addressed, you saw all those banners. It wasn't a BJP victory meeting, it was an NDA victory meeting. So there is a return of the NDA now. And you can see that even when the BJP does very well, as they've done in Maharashtra, they've nearly won a majority of their own, and yet they are having to defer to their NDA allies. That's why 3 weeks after the election results, even now, portfolios haven't been distributed in Maharashtra because Eknath Shinde has dug his heels in. He wants some key portfolios and is not willing to concede to anything that the BJP demands, or is not willing to unquestioningly accept whatever the BJP high command decides. That's where you see the return of the NDA. Chandrababu Naidu is now an important figure. Even the Gowda family, however weak they may have become in Karnataka, they have also acquired a new importance in politics. They just lost a by-election in Karnataka. A member of the family, Gowda family, another member of the scion of the Gowda family is in jail. I suspect he'll be there for a very long time. And yet, theirs is a party which needs to be taken seriously, as is Ramvilas Paswan's party, now represented by his son. So there is a return of the NDA, which is not something that's going to change soon. The conclusion, these 6 months have made BJP realize that they have to be more accommodative towards the allies. It follows that the BJP's Ashwamedh Yagya of conquering every state electorally has now been stopped. It's now been stopped. You can see the slowdown, not just a slowdown, and almost withdrawal from the south. Politics will go on in Karnataka, but everywhere else the BJP seems to be right now taking a deep breath, licking its wounds, and figuring things out for the future. Now, we've talked so much about the BJP. Let's talk a little bit about the India alliance. One of the factors that damaged Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, the BJP in Lok Sabha elections was that the India alliance worked. The India bloc worked, particularly in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, some other key states. It wasn't a full alliance because, say, in West Bengal, a critical state, they were fighting against each other, and there were other contradictions, Kerala as well. But generally, it worked well, and it was basically the vote transfer in Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra that kept the BJP short of 272. That is what made the big difference. Now that India bloc is currently either in some parts it's in disarray. For example, the Congress and AAP are now breaking apart. They're going to be contesting against each other. Congress is now putting up Sandeep Dikshit, very strong candidate, son of former Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit, against Arvind Kejriwal. In Haryana, Aam Aadmi Party put up so many candidates as they did elsewhere, and similar strains are developing between other coalition partners as well. Again, India does not seem to have learned, India as in the bloc, does not seem to have learned any political lessons from the summer of 2024, because the lesson was that if your alliance is good, vote transfer can take place. And if a vote transfer takes place, it's possible to defeat the BJP. BJP is beatable. Even the Congress, which usually has about 7 to 8% max strike rate against the BJP, can do a lot better, can improve it 3 times or 3.5 times if these vote transfers take place. But even then, India bloc still remains an idea. There is no structure, there is no secretariat, there are no office bearers, there is no convener. And in the middle of this, now some people have started talking about having a convener from a party other than the Congress, because they are saying you can't have a situation where Rahul Gandhi does not have responsibility formally either in his party or in India bloc, and yet be the most important leader. So India bloc needs a convener, president, coordinator, whatever you want to call the person, and that should be somebody from one of the non-Congress parties. And that's where Mamata Banerjee's name has come up again and again, and that is something that Mamata Banerjee has endorsed as well. So this is the writing on the wall for the Congress party and India bloc. Unless this bloc formalizes itself, puts in place some kind of a leadership and some kind of a discipline it cannot become more cohesive. If anything, it will only go on losing cohesion, which will be very useful for the BJP. There are three more points which I will mention briefly. Again, 6 months on, BJP had suffered in the tribal states of the Northeast in Lok Sabha elections. Six months on does not look like it's making any improvements there, because there is some disaffection rising in Nagaland. There is disaffection in some other states. Meghalaya has seen some protests. And Manipur, the key to the BJP standing in the northeastern tribal states is Manipur. They lost both the Lok Sabha seats there, and things haven't gotten better in Manipur. If anything, they might have gotten a little bit worse. So that is a cause for concern for the BJP. Next point, again important from the BJP's point of view, is the rise of the state leaders. So state leaders which seem to be under pressure before Lok Sabha elections, they are now back. Yogi Adityanath in UP, after his by-election performance, this time he was also given a free hand in choosing candidates, etc., which wasn't the case in Lok Sabha elections. And Devendra Fadnavis in Maharashtra as well, because he's the local leader who's worked hard there. He's been chief minister in the past. He was denied the chief ministership earlier to accommodate Eknath Shinde, but now he's got what he would see as his rightful place and what the RSS would see as his rightful place. So that is the other big political change. On a larger plane, however, larger strategic plane, between the Lok Sabha election and now, the BJP establishment has completely forgotten the Vishwaguru positioning for India. Vishwaguru became Vishwamitra, friend of the world, from teacher of the world to the friend of the world, and there also, with the economy losing momentum, at least for now, and right now not showing any big signs of revival or no big plans, it does look like that these 6 months Modi government has spent just recovering from the setback of Lok Sabha elections and sorting out its own politics and new political equations which come into play the moment you lose a majority. And that is probably the reason we haven't seen any major moves or plans or even promises on the economy. Let us see this parliament session over, what happens now. There is a budget coming up, because a lot of what happens, what plays out in politics in the months ahead, or maybe in the 3 years ahead, leading up to 2027, when the Uttar Pradesh election takes place, and which pretty much sets the stage for the next general elections. It will be critical for the BJP to get growth back in the 7% plus ballpark. Because if that doesn't happen, the popular disaffection will start spilling over into polling booths.